Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling some pretty significant news in the AI world. Google's just unveiled a brand new kind of top-tier AI subscription. They're calling it Google AI Ultra. So for you listening, our aim today is really to cut through the hype. What does this $250 a month plan actually mean? Not just for the super users, the real AI power users, but for everyday professionals. Maybe you, maybe someone just curious about where all this AI stuff is heading. What are the really critical questions we should be asking as this new expensive tier rolls out? We're going to be digging into reports from Mashable and CNBC to hopefully give you a clearer picture.
Exactly. And Google launching this premium plan, it's fascinating, especially when you look at it from like a potential user's point of view. It's not just about the list of features, which sounds impressive. It's really about whether those features give you real value. And maybe bigger picture, what does this kind of really high-end offering mean for AI access of everyone else?
Okay, right. Let's get into the specifics then. This big announcement. Both Mashable and CNBC covered it, the unveiling of Google AI Ultra. Mashable said it happened at the Google I/O keynote. CNBC called it the Annual Developer Conference, Google I/O. Same event, basically.
Yeah.
Happened Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. And the way they're positioning it is pretty interesting. Mashable says it's for hardcore AI users. CNBC used terms like trailblazers and pioneers who want cutting-edge AI.
Yeah, that language is quite revealing, isn't it? Gives you a clue who they're targeting.
Yeah. Hardcore users makes you think of people or teams with like really high usage needs, trailblazers, pioneers. That sounds more like people wanting the absolute latest stuff, maybe before it's even, fully mainstream. But the price, that's the thing that jumps out immediately. Around $250 a month. Mashable said $250 exactly. CNBC at $249.99.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a serious chunk of change.
It really is. And just to put that in perspective, both sources made sure to point out it's more expensive than OpenAI's ChatGPT Pro. That one's around $200 a month, right?
Yeah, roughly $50 more. So the natural question is, what are you getting for that extra money? What does Google pack in to justify that $250 price tag?
Okay, so this is where, you listening need to think about your own potential needs.
Mm-hmm.
For that price, you're getting the absolute highest usage limits across Google's AI services. So the immediate question for you is, well, are you hitting limits now with whatever AI tools you might be using? If not, maybe this tier isn't really for you yet.
Right. And you also get access to their, quote, state-of-the-art AI models, Google's most advanced ones, which again leads you to ask, okay, what does state-of-the-art actually mean here? How much better are they? Will you see a noticeable difference for the kind of things you do?
That's a really key question. Beyond the raw AI power, there's also storage. A lot of storage, 30 terabytes. Both Mashable and CNBC highlighted that. CNBC called it massive.
Yeah, 30 TB is huge. And then you get full access to everything under the Gemini umbrella. Plus, early access to some newer stuff like the VO3 video generation model.
Okay, that early access piece, VO3. If your work involves like cutting-edge AI video, maybe for creative projects or something, getting first dibs on a new model like that could actually be a pretty big deal, a real advantage.
Potentially, yeah, for a specific type of user, absolutely.
And the list keeps going. There's also access to Flow, which is Google's new AI filmmaking tool, and Whisk, an AI image generator that uses image prompts. That sounds pretty advanced for creators.
Image-to-image generation.
Mashable also mentioned getting early access to the Gemini version that's built right into the Chrome browser. That could be interesting for workflow if you live in Chrome all day.
Yeah, that browser integration points towards maybe a more seamless experience. If Chrome is your main tool anyway, it could add convenience, which adds to the value for some people.
And maybe one of the most sort of future-facing things is Project Mariner. Both sources mention this. It's a new agentic AI tool. Apparently, it can handle up to 10 tasks at the same time.
Right, agentic AI. That's the idea of AI doing more complex, multi-step things for you. 10 tasks simultaneously. That sounds impressive, but like you said before, the crucial questions for you are what kinds of tasks and how reliably does it actually manage all that at once?
Exactly. Is it going to be genuinely useful productivity or just, a fancy demo?
We'll have to see. The concept is powerful, an AI juggling multiple things, but the real-world usefulness, that depends entirely on what tasks it's good at and how well it actually performs them together. Does it really save you time?
Good point. Oh, and one more thing, the bonus. Both Mashable and CNBC said you get a YouTube Premium subscription included.
Right. Which, okay, if you're already paying for YouTube Premium, that does technically knock, what, $15 or so off the effective cost?
Something like that, yeah.
It's a tangible perk, definitely. It's something people know and might already pay for. But let's be honest, you're probably not subscribing to a $250 AI service just for the YouTube Premium. The core AI stuff has to be the main draw. The YouTube is just nice to have.
Fair enough. So who is Google really trying to reach with this? Who is the ideal customer? Mashable suggested it's aimed at professionals, maybe business owners, people already used to paying for things like Google Workspace.
Yeah, that tracks. CNBC kind of echoed that, saying it's for people willing to pay a premium for Google stuff in general. And when you think about that huge storage, the potential productivity tools like Mariner, Flow, you can see how businesses dealing with, say, large media files or wanting advanced AI for content creation or complex workflows, they might see the appeal more readily.
Okay, and why is Google doing this now? What's their motivation? CNBC had a take on this, basically trying to make more money directly from their AI developments and, diversifying revenue beyond advertising, especially with ad growth maybe slowing and all the competition from ChatGPT and others.
Precisely, it makes sense. This ultra tier lets them capture that high-end market segment, the power users, the businesses, the ones maybe willing to pay top dollar for the absolute cutting edge. It supplements their other income streams.
Right. Which brings us back to the really important questions for you listening to this. Is the value you'd get actually worth that pretty steep monthly cost? $250 is a lot. Who really genuinely benefits from those highest usage limits and all these advanced features we've listed?
That's the critical self-assessment, isn't it? You need to be honest about your current AI use and what you realistically expect to need soon. Are you constantly bumping up against limits on other services right now? Do you have very specific high-demand tasks where these advanced tools would make a real difference?
And how does this Google AI Ultra stack up against other AI subscriptions out there? We know it costs more than ChatGPT Pro, but it's not just about the price. What about the practical benefits for different kinds of work, like coding versus writing versus creating images or video?
Yeah, you need to compare based on your use case. Don't just rely on the marketing buzzwords like state of the art. And think practically. How would this actually fit into your day? Does it offer a significant leg up compared to cheaper options for the things you actually do?
We also need to really unpack what cutting edge means. How much better are these models compared to, say, the ones in Google's cheaper AI tiers, or even their free tools? Is the difference going to be noticeable day to day?
And Google hasn't exactly released detailed benchmarks, right? So as a potential customer, you'll want to keep an eye out for independent reviews. Once people start using it, we'll get a better sense of the real-world performance jump, if any.
Good point. And those extras, the 30 TB storage, the YouTube Premium, are they genuinely valuable additions for the target audience, those professionals and power users?
Well, the storage, for some people working with massive files, video editors, researchers, maybe, yeah, that could be a huge plus. YouTube Premium still feels like a side benefit. Nice, but probably not the main reason someone shells out $250 a month for AI. You have to weigh those extras against what you already have or need.
Okay, let's zoom out a bit. Think bigger picture. What are the potential implications of Google offering such a powerful and frankly expensive AI tier? Could this create like a bigger gap, an AI divide, where only those who can afford it get the best tools?
That's definitely a concern you might have just as a member of the public watching this unfold. As AI gets woven into more parts of life, these tiered access models, yeah, they could widen existing digital divides. It raises fair questions about, equitable access to these increasingly powerful technologies.
And what about Google's focus? If they're pouring resources into developing features for this ultra premium tier, how might that affect the experience for everyone else? People using the free versions or the cheaper paid plans?
That's a possibility, certainly. Development effort, new features, they might naturally gravitate towards where the highest revenue is. It could mean slower progress or fewer innovations for the broader user base. We don't know for sure, but it's something to watch.
And one last practical point. This launch is just in the US initially. So for anyone listening outside the US, the questions are, when will it reach you? And will the price and features be the same?
Yeah, international rollouts and pricing are always tricky. Depends on market conditions, regulations. If you're outside the US, you'll just have to wait for more announcements from Google on that front.
Right. And it's worth remembering, this isn't Google's only AI subscription. Anshul mentioned the basic Google AI Pro tier. That's around $20 a month. And CNBC talked about Google One AI Premium, which already has tiers from roughly $20 up to $150, mostly varying by storage. So this new Ultra plan really sits at the very, very top of that ladder.
Exactly. Seeing it in that context helps understand their strategy. It's about different levels of AI access, much like they do with cloud storage or other services. There's a ladder of options.
Okay, so to try and wrap up this deep dive, Google AI Ultra, it's a big new offering aimed at high-end users, maybe businesses, very high usage limits, access to cutting-edge tools, Project Mariner, Flow, Whisk, but it comes with that significant $250 a month price tag. So for you, whether you're thinking of subscribing or just watching AI develop, the key things to mull over are, is the value really there for that cost? How does it compare really to other options for your needs? What are the tangible benefits of those advanced features? And what are the broader implications of this kind of premium AI tier?
Yeah, this move by Google definitely underscores a trend we're seeing. The increasing monetization, the commercialization of the most advanced AI, it paints a picture of a future where access to the most powerful AI might very well be tiered like this.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you to chew on. As AI keeps accelerating, how will these tiered models shape who really benefits most? What does it mean for the future of accessing information, creating things for everyone else? Are we heading towards a more segmented AI world? And what would that actually look like? Definitely something to keep thinking about. Thanks for diving deep with us today.